I'm sitting in the small room at Riverside Gardens, looking at myself in the big mirror. My wedding dress is white and pretty, with tiny sparkly stones all over it. Someone painted my face to make it look extra nice today. My eyes look bigger and my cheeks look pink. The flowers I'm supposed to carry are sitting on the table next to me. Pick up my phone again. Still no messages from Mom. Nothing from Dad. My brother Marcus hasn't sent anything either. Someone knocks on the door very quietly. Mrs. Chen, the lady helping with my wedding, puts her head inside. Her smile looks a bit sad. Time, Jasmine. Are you ready to go? I look out the window at all the chairs outside. 80 people came to watch me get married today. The people playing music are playing soft pretty songs. But in the very front there are 3 empty chairs. Nobody is sitting there. They're not coming, are they? My voice shakes when I talk. Mrs. Chen's smile gets smaller. Maybe they'll come late, she says. But I know she doesn't really believe it. I breathe in deep and touch my dress to make it smooth. Okay, let's go. The big doors open and everyone turns around to look at me. I can feel them all feeling sorry for me. Makes my skin feel weird. Some people whisper to each other. Some people smile at me in a way that makes me feel worse. I try to only look at Marcus at the end of the aisle. He's looking right at me with love in his eyes. I remember what my mom said on the phone 4 days ago. We'll try to come, sweetie. Your brother Jason has a big work thing that day. Mom sounded like she was saying no to getting ice cream, not to her daughter's wedding. I can buy the plane tickets for you, I said, feeling scared inside. And the hotel room. Please, Mom. I could hear Dad talking in the back. Tell her we're too busy. Now I'm walking slowly, putting one foot in front of the other. Keep breathing. In and out. 1 step. Then another step. I won't cry. I won't let them win, even though they're not even here. When I get to Marcus, he holds both my hands. His hands feel warm and real. I'm here, he says really quietly so only I can hear. We're enough for each other. For just a second, I remember being 7 years old, standing in our living room while Mom and Dad showed off Jason's big soccer trophy. They put it on the special shelf, moved back to look at it, and took lots of pictures to send to everyone in the family. My drawing that won first place at school was in a drawer in the kitchen. I had shown it to them that morning, feeling so happy because my teacher said I was really good at art. Mom looked at it for 1 second and said, "That's nice, honey," then went back to making dinner. Later, Dad touched my hair without really looking at me. Jason needs more help from us. He's gonna do big things when he grows up. You understand, right, Jasmine? And Mom always said, why can't you be more like Jason? He works on important things. I tried so hard after that day. Got good grades. I got money for college. I started my own business. Everything I did was to try to make them look at me. But they never really looked. Not once. The wedding keeps going. I say my promises to Marcus. My voice gets stronger with every word. I promise to see you clearly and love you completely, I tell Marcus. The man doing the wedding says we're married now. And Marcus's mom gives me a really big hug. You're part of our family now, dear, she says in my ear. And something tight in my chest gets a little looser. The camera person takes pictures of us dancing. Marcus spins me around under the pretty lights hanging from the trees. His cousins come dance with us too, making a big circle of happy people and music. Sometimes I forget about the family that should be here but isn't. I forget about checking my phone so many times. I forget about telling people why my parents aren't here. At the party after, my best friend from college, Amy, holds up her glass. To finding the family who really loves you, she says, looking right at me with fierce eyes. Everyone agrees out loud. What she said hits me like a punch. All these years, the people who should have loved me most couldn't see me at all. I was chasing love from people who never planned to give it to me. When things get quiet for a minute, I sneak away to check my phone one more time. No calls I missed. No messages. Not even a simple congratulations text. Marcus finds me staring at my empty phone screen. They missed something really beautiful today, he says, putting his arm around me. I look up at him, at this man who has never made me feel like I have to earn his love. I think about his family welcoming me with open arms. I think about my friends who came from far away to be here with me. Put the phone down. That was their choice, I say, feeling lighter than I have in so many years, not something I did wrong. And for the first time I really believe it's true. 2 years later I lean back in my desk chair, looking at my computer. Sale of Skyline Creative Studios completed for $18 million. 2 years of talking and planning, 4 years of building from nothing. And now I have real proof in the form of a huge number. My office door flies open and my whole team comes in with bottles of bubbly juice and plastic cups. To Jasmine, my manager Kelly says, holding up her cup, "The woman who built something amazing while certain people weren't watching." I smile and tap my cup against 12 people who actually showed up for me, not like my family. We're celebrating when my phone buzzes. A notification from Instagram. Jason posting about his twin kids' fancy private school event. I shouldn't look at it, but I do. There they are. Mom and Dad standing next to Jason and his wife Rachel. They're twin boys wearing matching blue uniforms. The words under the picture say, "Family tradition lives on." 3rd generation at Pinecrest Academy. Dad's arm is around Jason's shoulders. Mom is smiling at her grandsons like they're the best thing ever. I swipe to see more pictures. Jason's family trip to Disney World last month. The Christmas party I wasn't invited to. Dad's birthday celebration. In every single picture they look like the perfect happy family. Missing one daughter. What makes me more upset than the pictures is what they mean. The Disney trip probably cost $4,000. Pinecrest Academy costs $25,000 every year for each kid. Jason's big house in the background of some photos is in a neighborhood where houses cost over $1.5 million. All paid for with my parents' saved money, according to my cousin who sometimes remembers I exist. Jasmine. Kelly touches my arm. "You went somewhere else for a second." "Just checking messages." I lock my phone. Where were we? The party keeps going around me, but in my head I'm doing math. Jason's law office is doing okay, but not good enough to pay for his fancy life. My parents have been secretly giving him money for years, using up all their retirement savings to make him look successful. Meanwhile, my $18 million sale doesn't even get a text message. After everyone leaves, I scroll through my parents' social media pages. Hundreds of posts about Jason's achievements, the twins' special moments, family get-togethers. I exist in exactly one birthday wish from last year. "Happy birthday, Jasmine." No picture. Nothing else. I close my computer and make a decision. The next morning I call the man who helps me with money. The Porsche Taycan. Dark blue. I want to buy it today. 3 hours later, I'm signing papers for a $135,000 car. It's expensive and I don't really need it, but I want it. Not because I need my family to say I did good, but because I earn my own money and never needed theirs. At home I take one picture of the car in my driveway. The sun makes it shine and look really pretty. I post it to Instagram with simple words. Dreams come true. For 3 whole days nothing happens. Then on Wednesday afternoon, my phone lights up with a name I haven't seen in 4 years. Mom calling. My stomach feels tight and weird as I answer. "Hello, Jasmine." Mom's voice sounds bossy and worried at the same time. "We need to talk. Family meeting tomorrow." Family meeting. I repeat, not believing what I'm hearing. After 4 years of silence, "You're calling about a family meeting. This is important." She stops talking and I hear Dad's voice behind her. "Tell her it's important," he says like I can't hear him. "What's so important?" Yes. My wedding wasn't important. My business wasn't important. What matters now? Mom's voice gets tighter. "It's complicated. Money problems. We need to talk about it as a family." Course. They saw the car. They know about my big sale. Now suddenly I'm family again. "Tomorrow at 2 o'clock, I say before hanging up. The next morning I get into my new Porsche. The leather seat feels cool against my back. Driving to my childhood home takes 35 minutes. That's enough time to remember all the birthdays they celebrated without me, all the things I did that they ignored, all the holidays I spent alone while they were together. I park in the circle driveway. My shiny blue Porsche looks super modern next to their old-looking house. For a minute, I just sit there with my hands on the steering wheel. The last time I stood on that front porch was 5 years ago when I told them I was getting married. Mom had nodded like she barely cared while Dad kept looking at his watch, clearly wanting me to leave. They never needed me before. Why do they need me now? My phone buzzes with a text from Marcus. Remember who you are. Call me if you need help getting out of there. I smile even though I don't feel happy. Another buzz. An email from Ms. Rivera, the investor who believed in Skyline when nobody else would. Your worth isn't decided by people who couldn't see it. One more alert. My assistant saying tomorrow's meetings are ready. Don't let them take too much time. You have the project review at 4. I breathe in deep, remembering what my therapist said last week. Boundaries aren't mean. They protect you. I make my shoulders straight and get out of the car. Before I can knock, the front door opens fast. Mom and Dad stand there. Their faces change from annoyed to shocked when they see the Porsche behind me. You've done well for yourself, Dad says. Not hello. Not I've missed you. Just looking at my money. Yes, I answer simply. No hugs. No warmth. They take me to the dining room table where Jason and Rachel already sit. Their faces look worried in a fake way. Asman. Jason nods like we talked last week instead of 4 years ago. Let's get right to business, Dad says, pulling out folders with papers in them. I stay standing up with my purse held tight. That's the only sign that I'm upset inside. No, I say first. I want to know why I'm suddenly important enough for family meetings after being left out of everything for years. Mom and Dad look at each other. Jason moves around uncomfortably. We can talk about that later, Mom says in that voice I know too well. The one that dismisses me. We have bigger problems right now. I'm not in a hurry, I say, still standing. And I'm not interested in being family only when you need something. For the first time ever, I see my father look uncertain. In this moment I understand. They need me now. And for once, I get to decide what happens next. The dining room of my childhood home feels smaller than I remember. Richard sits at the end of the table with his hands folded like he's the boss of everything. Eleanor sits next to him, sitting up straight even though she looks worried. Across from me, Jason slouches in his chair. His expensive shirt is wrinkled. Rachel sits beside him with a photo book open on her lap. It's foreclosure, Jasmine. Richard's voice is strong but shaky. Jason's house payment is 3 months late. The twins' private school hasn't been paid this semester. I don't say anything. I let the quiet stretch out. 2 years of not talking, and this is what brings us together. You need to help your brother. Richard slides papers across the shiny table. Loan papers already filled out. The assumption takes my breath away. Think about your nephews. Eleanor's voice catches in a practiced way that used to make me want to please her. They're just children. They shouldn't suffer because of money problems. Jason leans forward with his eyes narrow. Or family. That's what family does. When one of us does well, we help the others. Rachel opens the photo book wider and pushes it toward me. They ask about Aunt Jasmine all the time. She points to pictures of children I barely know. Their faces smiling at a birthday party I wasn't invited to. Tyler wants to know why you never visit. Richard clears his throat. We've done everything we could. Our retirement money is. He stops talking and looks at Eleanor. We've been helping them as much as we can. The meaning hangs in the air between us. My success means I owe them. My independence is selfish when family needs help. I close the photo book and slide it back. Where were you at my wedding? The question comes out of my mouth calmly. Jason blinks. What? My wedding? 2 years ago. Where were you? Eleanor's hand moves to her throat. We were busy. Jason had that big thing with his law office. It wasn't convenient, Richard adds, like he's talking about missing a regular dinner. I nod slowly, feeling something get clear inside me. And yet here you are now because you saw the Porsche on Instagram. You only called me because you saw the car. Jason's face turns red. That's not fair. Isn't it? I sit up straighter. Where once I was bent over with worry, now I feel strong. I built everything by myself. Every scholarship. Every client. Every late night working. Where were any of you? Richard's eyes get narrow. What does that have to do with right now? Everything. I fold my hands on the table just like his. I'm listening. Tell me why I should write a check today. Jason slams his hand on the table. You always had to show off. Always acting like you were so smart, so creative, so special. Some of us were just trying to live normal lives. Richard's hand touches Jason's shoulder. Your brother had more potential. We had to support that. You were always so independent. We're still your parents. Eleanor whispers with tears in her eyes. Despite everything. You were parents in name only. My voice stays calm, which surprises me. You missed my high school graduation. You missed my college scholarship ceremony. You missed when my company started. You missed my wedding. I tapped the table with each thing they missed. You missed my whole life. And now you want to benefit from what my life created. Jasmine, Richard starts to say. You didn't build this success, I continue. You don't get to share in it. My phone vibrates in my pocket. I look down to see Marcus's message. You doing okay? Meeting taking long. Dinner soon. Seeing his name makes me remember Ms. Rivera's words when she invested in my startup. You don't need approval from people who can't see your light. I think about my team at Skyline. Their happy faces when we celebrated the sale. People who chose to see me, to support me, to believe in what I could build. In my briefcase sits the contract for the scholarship program. Signed by the board last Tuesday. People who trust me with purpose, not just money. Richard slides the loan papers closer to me. We're only asking for what's reasonable. Family helps family. The interest rate is quite fair, Eleanor adds, like she's doing me a favor. Jason smirks, feeling confident now. Blood is thicker than water, Jazz. I stand up slowly and carefully. The movement makes them look at me. Their bodies lean forward, expecting something. I reach for my briefcase and put it on the table with a soft thud. I've made a different decision, I say. Jason's eyes watch my hands as I open the briefcase. Richard moves forward in his chair. Eleanor's fingers twist a napkin in her lap. Instead of a checkbook, I take out one paper and place it on the table. This is the announcement for the Rivera Digital Arts Scholarship Foundation. $14 million to create opportunities for young girls in digital arts. I smooth the paper with my fingers. The announcement goes out tomorrow morning. $14 million. Jason chokes out the number like he can't breathe. Named after Miss Rivera, my high school art teacher. The woman who came to my art shows when my family was too busy. The money is legally protected in a foundation trust. The board approved everything last week. Silence falls like a heavy blanket on the table. I'm helping girls who never got the support I didn't get, I say, putting my things together. That's what family means to me. Jason's face twists and the veins on his forehead stick out. You're wasting it on strangers. On nobody, girls who deserve better than what I got. I snap my briefcase closed. Girls who need someone to invest in them. My parents sit there shocked, staring at the paper that represents millions they'll never touch. I pick up my phone and turn the screen toward them. A recording app shows a timer running. 32 minutes, 48 seconds and counting. I've also recorded every manipulative thing from today, I say quietly. Every threat, every demand, every guilt trip. Just in case anyone gets creative with legal claims against the foundation. I walk toward the door. My footsteps echo in the silence. Behind me, I hear Jason's chair scrape back hard. You can't just leave. His voice cracks. We need that money. I pause at the door without turning around. No, Jason. What you needed was to show up. My graduation. My company launch. My wedding. I put my hand on the doorknob. But that chance is gone now. The door closes behind me with a soft click that sounds like freedom. The Porsche hums beneath me as I drive away from my childhood home. My hands aren't squeezing the steering wheel anymore. The further I drive, the more steady my hands become. I press the call button on my dashboard. It's done, I tell Marcus when he answers. They showed exactly who they are. How bad was it? His voice fills the car with concern in every word. Exactly what we expected. I breathe in deep, feeling lighter than I have in hours. Jason lost his mind when I showed him the foundation papers. Dad tried to fix things, but Mom just kept crying about family duty. Are you okay? Good question. I look at myself in the mirror. I'm surprised to see no tears, no embarrassed red face. Just a clear-eyed woman looking back. I'm better than okay. For the first time, I saw them clearly without hoping they'd be different. I'm proud of you, Marcus says. Remember, foundation board meeting at 9 tomorrow morning. Everything's ready for the announcement. The timing was on purpose. Set up the foundation legally before any family fight. Schedule the announcement before they could regroup. No emotional begging, just legal structures they can't break through. The Rivera Digital Arts Scholarship would be my legacy, not family drama. I'll be ready, I promise, before ending the call. The first message comes at 11:32 p.m. By midnight, my phone buzzes constantly with family emergency texts. I silence it and place it face down on my nightstand. The house is quiet except for Marcus's steady breathing beside me. I don't need to read their messages to know what they say. Morning brings 5 voicemails from my mother. The change is obvious in her tone. From crying pleas about family unity to sharp accusations of betrayal, ending with threats about what people will think of a daughter abandoning her family when they need help. You've dealt with worse, I tell myself as I put on makeup. The morning routine makes me feel grounded. My dark blue suit, the one I wore when signing the sale papers, hangs ready on the closet door. Marcus hands me coffee in my favorite mug. Jason's been calling business people, he says, scrolling through his phone. And your dad tried calling my uncle. Predictable. Take a sip. The coffee is bitter but makes me feel strong. They're moving faster than I expected but not smarter. The foundation board meeting goes smoothly. 11 amazing women from media and finance, all personally chosen, all committed to supporting young female artists. The announcement is approved by everyone. Launch details finalized. The first scholarship winner will be chosen in 5 months. I'm looking at the event venue proposal when Jamie from the front desk calls. Miss Torres, your family is here. They're causing a big scene. Through the glass walls of my office, I can see security already moving toward the lobby. I straighten papers that don't need straightening. Have security walk them out, please. Calmly and professionally. I watch through the windows as my mother's voice gets louder. My daughter is abandoning her family. Her hands move wildly. Her pearl necklace swings with emotion. Jason stands beside her with his arms crossed. His face is that shade of red it used to turn when he didn't get what he wanted as a kid. My team watches me for signals. I stand up, smooth my skirt, and walk to my office door. It's being handled. I tell them with a calmness I've practiced for this moment. Let's keep working. Security walks my family toward the elevators. Jason's voice carries back. This isn't over. We have family responsibilities you can't just ignore. That evening I write one email to all 3 of them. I have documented your harassment at my workplace. Any more attempts to contact me at my office will result in a formal complaint. All messages about family matters must go through my attorney. Their contact information is attached. Asman. Direct and clear, says Dr. Martinez, my therapist, 2 days later. We sit in her bright office with a light smell of lavender tea between us. How did it feel sending that? Necessary. I trace the pattern on the chair arm. Not satisfying exactly. More like setting a boundary, she offers. I look up at her. They're showing who they've always been, aren't they? People tend to show themselves under pressure, Dr. Martinez says. What you're seeing now isn't new behavior, just stronger. The understanding washes over me, simple but deep. I wanted their love, but they wanted my money. That's an important difference. All those years. My voice trails off as connections form in my mind. The childhood neglect. The absent parents. The way they appeared only when I had something they wanted. It wasn't my job to earn their love. It was their job to give it freely. And now I know I'm not responsible for fixing them, I say, feeling the truth settle in my bones. There's freedom in that. The next morning brings news that Jason contacted the Seattle Times about a family fight. The reporter, smarter than Jason thought, asked why none of them came to my wedding. The story that comes out paints a picture Jason didn't want. Parents absent during important moments, suddenly interested when money appeared. My mother's angry social media post creates an unexpected wave of support for me. Former classmates, business people, even distant relatives reach out with messages of solidarity. "We always wondered why they never talked about your success," writes a cousin I haven't seen in years. Richard's attempts to contact my investors fail when they refuse to discuss personal matters. The community rallies around the Scholarship Foundation instead, with applications already coming in months before the official launch. The Seattle Business Journal asks for an interview about the foundation. I agree, setting clear rules. We'll discuss the scholarship's purpose and impact, not family matters. The reporter, Diana Ward, meets me at the foundation's temporary office. "This is an impressive plan," she says, reviewing the information. $14 million is substantial starting money. What inspired such generosity? I choose my words carefully. I had a teacher who saw potential in me when others didn't. Miss Rivera changed my life by simply paying attention. I want to create that chance for young girls who might otherwise be overlooked. You've built an impressive career, Diana notes. Skyline's sale was one of the biggest tech stories last year. Is your family proud? The question hangs between us. I could avoid it, change to safer topics. Instead, I meet her eyes directly. My success was built without family support. They weren't at my wedding, my graduation, or when I sold my company. Diana's pen stops moving. That provides interesting background for the foundation's mission. Later that week, the article appears with the headline "Self-Made Success Creates Legacy of Support." The contrast between my generosity and my family's entitlement becomes public story. When news of Jason's house foreclosure breaks days later, the community connects the dots without me saying a word. Marcus handles increased security at our home. My business team manages communication strategy, filtering messages and focusing on foundation work. Ms. Rivera, my first investor and mentor, releases a statement supporting my commitment to lifting others rather than enabling dependency. My college friends form a protective circle, filling our schedule with dinners and events that leave no room for thinking about family drama. Dr. Martinez provides anchoring during weekly sessions. The united front becomes its own kind of family. Chosen, intentional, supportive. 2 weeks after the confrontation, I received the Business Leadership Award from the Women in Media Alliance. Standing at the podium, looking out at faces that genuinely celebrate my success, I realize the tables have completely turned. My parents' retirement plans are now delayed forever. Rachel's social position in her precious country club circles has collapsed with their financial fall. Jason's twins will transfer to public school next semester. Meanwhile, the foundation thrives, creating positive coverage that spreads beyond Seattle. The story resonates not because I sought revenge, but because I chose to transform pain into purpose. The scholarship committee has selected 2 finalists for the first award. Jennifer tells me, placing the folders on my desk. They'd like your input by Friday. I open the first file and begin reviewing the work of a young girl whose teacher noticed her talent when no one else did. The circle completes itself. Healing through action rather than looking backward. Family defined by what it does, not what it claims to be. For the first time in my life, I feel truly seen. In the weeks that follow, I delete the 3rd voicemail from Aunt Susan without listening past her plea of "Everyone misses you, Jasmine." The Thanksgiving invitation sits in my email. Its subject line, "Family needs to be together," a clear attempt at manipulation. My phone chimes with a text from my cousin Drew. "I don't understand this fight between you and Uncle Richard. Can't you just talk to them?" Of course he doesn't understand. He wasn't at my empty wedding. He didn't witness 18 years of invisibility. A letter arrived yesterday from Mom. The fancy handwriting clearly hers. "We always believed in you," she wrote, as if rewriting our entire history. The envelope sits half-burned in my fireplace, its edges curled and blackened like the lies it contains. Dad called my office directly last week. We need to clear the air, he said, his voice lacking any acknowledgement of what they'd done. My assistant, following strict instructions, told him I was unavailable. Permanently. The final straw comes when Jason sends the twins to my office with handmade cards. "We miss Aunt Jasmine," written in childish handwriting I know isn't theirs. The manipulation is so obvious it makes my stomach hurt. They're using every emotional tool they can find, Marcus observes that evening, looking at the cards on our kitchen counter. They're desperate. I flip through the week's collection of attempts. But they still haven't actually apologized. The family attorney calls next, his voice professionally neutral. "There are moral responsibilities to consider, Jasmine. Family ties carry certain duties. The implication is clear. I'm the villain in their story. The heartless daughter who abandoned her struggling family." Pastor Wilson from the church I stopped going to years ago leaves a voicemail. "Your parents are deeply concerned. Perhaps we could meet to discuss reconciliation." Two childhood friends, neither of whom I've talked to in 8 years, suddenly reach out. "Your parents seem so heartbroken," says one. "The holidays are for forgiveness," says the other. When Jason's wife Rachel emails photos of the twins in Halloween costumes with the words "the children ask about you constantly," I nearly throw my phone. They're making this entire situation my responsibility. I tell my therapist during our weekly session. My forgiveness, my duty, my failure to be the bigger person. "And how does that make you feel?" she asks, her eyes steady on mine. Angry, I admit, but also validated. They wouldn't fight this hard if they weren't afraid of losing control. The foundation selection meeting provides an unexpected challenge. The committee recommends a scholarship for Lily Chen, a 16-year-old filmmaker whose application video shows remarkable talent and painful familiarity. "She reminds me of myself," I tell Marcus that night. Quiet, determined, overlooked. I watch her interview video again. Lily's eyes hold the same weariness I see in my own wedding photos. She talks about finding her voice through filmmaking when her family couldn't hear her. What if I'm wrong to cut them off completely? The question slips out before I can stop it. Marcus sits beside me on the couch. "What brought this on, Lily? If I'm telling these girls to find their strength, am I showing that by running away from my family? Is setting boundaries running away?" Marcus asks. "Think about this. Well, boundaries aren't abandonment. What would you tell Lily if her family treated her like yours treated you?" The answer comes easily. I tell her she deserves people who see her worth. The Thursday before Thanksgiving, I host dinner at our home. The dining room table extends to fit everyone. Marcus beside me. Ms. Rivera across from us. My business team scattered between. Lily sits at the opposite end. Her scholarship certificate framed on the wall behind her. Our home glows with warmth my parents' house never had. Candles flicker in silver holders. Laughter rings against the ceiling. No one here needs to prove their worth to be seen. I raise my glass. To those who see us as we are. The toast echoes around the table. My phone stays off, notifications silenced. The meal unfolds in perfect rhythm. Conversations flowing without the undercurrent of judgment I grew up with. Over dessert, I announce the Foundation's new mentorship program. I'll be personally involved with each winner, I explain. We're creating connections that matter. Lily's eyes widen. "You'll be mentoring us yourself." Every step of the way, I smile at her. This foundation isn't just about money. It's about building something meaningful together. Ms. Rivera nods approvingly. "You've created structures that can't be interfered with." The foundation's independence is legally secured, I confirm. Its success will be measured by impact, not approval. Later, as we clear plates, Marcus turns on the local news. Right on schedule, the feature about the foundation airs. Timed perfectly with my family's traditional dinner hour. On screen, I speak with confidence I've earned. We build family. Through action, not obligation. The report transitions to financial analysis, contrasting the foundation's transparent governance with examples of mismanagement, including a not-so-subtle reference to Jason's business failures. Lily watches, amazed. They're actually comparing your brother's company to the foundation. Facts speak for themselves. I stack dessert plates with steady hands. The community has validated what my family refused to see. The following morning, my parents request a meeting at a coffee shop downtown. I arrive in the Porsche, the car that triggered their sudden interest after years of silence. Dad looks older than I remember. Defeat written in lines around his mouth. We should have been there, he admits, staring at his untouched coffee. At the wedding? I ask, though I know that's not all he means. Everywhere his voice cracks. All those years. Mom's eyes shine with tears. How can we fix this? The question hangs between us. 3 months ago, I might have grabbed at this opening, desperate for any acknowledgement. Now I feel only calm clarity. Some things can't be fixed, I tell them. Only accepted. Mom flinches. I'm not closing the door forever, I continue. But I need real accountability, not convenience. I'll consider limited contact after you both start therapy. That's unnecessary, Dad begins, the old dismissiveness rising. It's non-negotiable. Sip my tea. The warmth spreading through my chest like certainty. They exchange glances. The silent communication of people who never expected consequences for their choices. Jason's financial collapse has stripped away their illusions of his superiority. My success exists beyond their reach. The foundation thrives independent of their approval. When they leave, no agreements have been made. No concessions offered. I watch them walk to their car, a basic sedan now. The luxury vehicle's long gone. I drive away without looking back. Freedom replacing obligation in every beat of my heart. The foundation awaits. Lily's project needs review. My chosen family expects me for dinner. For the first time, I'm moving toward something instead of away from someone. And that makes all the difference. I stand in the sunlit studio of the Rivera Foundation, watching Lily adjust her camera settings. The morning light comes through the tall windows, making golden patterns across the polished floor. It's been a year since I faced my family for the last time. What do you think about this angle? Lily looks up, her eyes bright with the same creative fire Miss Rivera once saw in mine. Try moving it a bit to the left. Catch how the light falls across the subject. My voice carries the confidence of a mentor now, not the desperate plea of a daughter seeking approval. On the wall behind Lily, photos document our scholarship recipients' projects. Stories they never could have told without the foundation's support. Each frame represents a voice that might have been silenced, just as mine nearly was. My office here replaced the childhood bedroom where I once dreamed of being seen. Every element, from the comfortable chair to the awards displayed without apology on floating shelves, I chose deliberately. Nothing inherited. Nothing tainted by obligation or guilt. I finished the final cut of my documentary, Lily says, straightening up. Would you watch it with me? We move to the editing bay where her project plays on the high-definition screen. The documentary follows 3 generations of women in a rural Washington family. Their struggles and strengths beautifully captured through Lily's lens. Watching her work, I feel a swell of pride entirely different from anything I've known before. This isn't about me. It's about what she's created. What she'll continue to create. When the final credits roll, Lily turns to me, tears brightening her eyes. You're the reason I believe I can do this, she says, wrapping her arms around me in a spontaneous hug. I think of Miss Rivera. How she recognized something in me when my own parents couldn't be bothered. How her belief sustained me through years of family indifference. Now the cycle continues. Not of neglect, but of genuine support. Later that week, I stand at the podium of the Seattle Arts Center, accepting a Community Leadership Award. The audience applauds. A sea of faces turn toward me with appreciation, not pity. Marcus sits in the front row, beaming with unrestrained pride. There are no empty seats causing me pain tonight. No phantom family members I wish were here. Every person in this room sees me. truly sees me for who I am. Thank you, I begin, my voice steady. This journey began in invisibility and has led to impact. 4 years, I measured my worth by the approval I couldn't earn from people who refused to give it. I pause, let my gaze sweep across the room. Now I measure it by what we build together. The standing ovation washes over me like a cleansing wave. My therapist calls it post-traumatic growth. This strange peace I've found after accepting that some wounds never fully heal. I maintain careful boundaries with extended family. Holiday gatherings now center around chosen family. Celebrations filled with genuine joy rather than dread. Marcus and I have established our own traditions. Ms. Rivera's retirement party at the foundation last month brought together the circles of support that lifted me when blood ties failed. The emergency fund for students facing financial hardship, my latest project, ensures that talent isn't crushed by circumstance. I understand now what these young women need because I lived without it. Unconditional belief in their potential. Driving home through Seattle in my Porsche, I pass the coffee shop where I once edited videos on a borrowed laptop. Through the window, I catch a glimpse of my parents walking on the sidewalk. Our eyes meet briefly. I don't stop. There's no pain in this moment. Only peaceful acknowledgement. They taught me what love isn't. Marcus and my work taught me what it is. Tomorrow, Lily sets up for her next project. I'll be there, camera in hand, showing her techniques I've mastered over years of making myself visible. Family isn't who raises you, it's who lifts you. JAMAL'S Revenge.